Hey, Mrparka here for week 10 of Mrparka's updates and reviews. So I only have 4 titles to review for you this week. It's been a little slow, but I also, at the end of this video, will be an hour interview with Dustin Mills, the independent film director. I'm going to try to incorporate as many interviews in weekly episodes as I can. Remember, there's always timestamps, so an hour interview does seem a lot long for some people, and the whole show on top of that. So it's a pretty hefty show, but remember, there's timestamps to skip around to the reviews, the contest, and the shout-outs. So, let's hop into this. The first movie I will be reviewing is The Stendhal Syndrome by Dario Argento. This was made actually in the mid-90s, and after a couple American commercial failures, Dario went back to Italy. He was more famous there. He had more creative freedom, and he went there and he made The Stendhal Syndrome with his daughter Asia Argento. I remember watching this movie actually a long time ago. I didn't actually watch the butchered Terrible Trauma DVD. I did see the original Blue Underground DVD, and I always remembered enjoying it. I didn't remember everything about it, but as I put this one in, I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of people see this as Argento's last masterpiece, and to me, I hope there's another masterpiece coming, but I think this one is his last great film. What we have here is it opens up with a kind of a confused woman going to this beautiful art gallery in Italy, and she starts to suffer from this thing called the Stendhal syndrome, which has been documented in history before. Beautiful pieces of art kind of cause confusion, hallucinations, and sometimes personality changes. We find out she's quickly taken advantage of by a strange man back at her apartment. We find out she was actually a cop with the anti-rape unit trying to track this guy down, who is a serial rapist and murderer who is taking victims out in Italy. So that sets up the movie. This Stendhal syndrome that affected Asia Argento and the rape kind of bring on this dramatic personality change that makes her very aggressive and different. She pushes away her boyfriend, and she starts seeing the psychiatrist. So we get this weird kind of psychological aspect that is prevalent in some Dario Argento films, like Bird with the Crystal Plumage. In fact, that movie is very similar with how the killer actually has their motives. It's art correlating with murder, and there's a lot of art and death and weird stuff correlating together in this one as well. A lot of images of blood sprinkling down on white and blood coming down on faces that it resembles like a paint on canvas, I guess I'll say, is kind of what it's going for at certain points in the movie. What's really cool about the Stendhal syndrome is with that disease that Aja is suffering from, it can make artwork in the movie almost horrific at times or super surreal. So she'll walk in paintings and have beautiful scenery. She'll dive to the bottom of the ocean in a painting. I think it's The Fall of Icarus is the painting, and she'll sink all the way to the bottom and make weird relationship with this bizarre fish. And there's a scene where she's actually trapped with some graffiti, and there's some real nasty graffiti on the wall, and it comes to life for a second. The score is by Ennio Morricone, so that's nice to see Dario Argento and Ennio Morricone back together again. Luigi Cozzi's working on the film, so we got a lot of cool stuff going for it. It's got a good soundtrack. It's immensely well acted. It's got a great concept, and the end of the movie is really twisted. The whole idea that violence breeds violence is in there as well. But I'm interested in everything that's going on, and the guy who plays the killer, I can't think of his name, Thomas Kranchen, he's a German guy, is one of the most sadistic, terrifying killers I've seen in a very, very long time. He actually seems like he's getting off on the whole thing, which he's supposed to be, but he's just a dangerous, scary rapist. Some of the CGI is very dated, but it was state-of-the-art for the time, and Argento's always trying to do new things, and he was trying to do new things with the digital effects, and they don't really hold up today, but I can't hate on a movie for it. I think it's a well-made, interesting movie with a lot going on. Psychological and surreal, but grounded. And the twist, I don't know if it's necessarily a twist. There's some misdirection to kind of throw you off. But Aja Argento gets a really juicy role in here, where she gets to have this duality. The movie, the release comes with a bunch of features on here. It has a commentary by the guy who wrote a bunch of Jello books. He does a lot of stuff for Arrow. The guy's a genius. He knows his stuff. He does a great commentary on here. There's new interviews with Argento, and one of the special effects artists, not Sergio Stivoletti. All the old special features are put on a DVD for you with a Dario Argento. The production designer is my favorite interview on that one because they keep asking about old movies that he worked on, like Contamination, and at times he just starts laughing. He's like, "Why are you asking me about all this crap?" And he knows it. They're B movies, and the guy asking the question kind of knows they're B movies, but they have a good laugh about it. It's really funny. But yeah, those are the features on here. Also has the movie on Blu-ray. It looks amazing, especially compared to the old DVD. And if you saw the Troma DVD, I imagine it looks like, the best thing ever. But it looks really good. It sounds good. The soundtrack's great. You can watch it in its original Italian or in English. But I was really impressed with the movie on revisiting it, and it's one of Argento's best. I mean, I still wish he made movies like this, but it's a real winner from Blue Underground. I enjoy the movie. The only thing that I would have a problem with is some of the dated CGI, but I can't crucify the movie for that. Check out the trailer.
A new film by the master of the psychological thriller, Dario Argento.
And I entered a painting. It was as if I was suddenly immersed in it. I know it sounds crazy.
What happened to you in the Uffizi is known as the Stendhal syndrome.
Your gun, Assistant Inspector Manny.
The Stendhal syndrome. The Stendhal syndrome. A spine-chilling excursion into a world of unrestrained terror. The Stendhal syndrome. Written and directed by Dario Argento.
The next one we have here is by Severin. This is Bag Boy, Lover Boy. Yeah, this one is a bizarre one. The only way I can really explain it to you guys is by kind of name-dropping some other oddball movies so you get the kind of feel from it. It reminds me of the British serial killer movie Tony. It reminds me of The Greasy Strangler. It reminds me of Chocolate Strawberry Vanilla. And it even reminds me of something like Cat Sick Blues, where it takes this outside weird character and it throws him in this kind of strange world, though. A Bag Boy, Lover Boy is more realistic than some of those other movies, but we have this kind of character named Albert, who's this lonely kind of loser, and this photographer spots him named Ivan, and he's an exploitative, manipulative, bad person, but he's very he has tons of charisma. He's hilarious. And what he does is he kind of exploits Albert into taking these weird fetish asphyxiation photos with his models. This kind of has a weird, I guess I'll say, impact on Albert, and especially when he is kind of hounded by Ivan at one point where he's yelled at and kind of belittled. This causes Albert to snap, which, although it does seem a little bit ridiculous that Albert snapped here. But what's strange about this movie is Albert, in real life, I think as well, is kind of this awkward kind of person. And especially in the movie, the way he handles situations, the way he talks, creates for everything to be really cringeworthy and uncomfortable. And then you put him across this character like Ivan, who's this loud as hell, larger than life kind of egomaniac, and it makes for great cinema. Of course, it turns into your kind of your slasher, I guess you'll say, sleazy slasher movie. There's points of real nice suspense, but also everything's kind of comedic until the actual murders happen, and they're pretty brutal. There's moments in this movie when I actually laughed out loud. I cringed. Real gross stuff in here. He is a hot dog vendor, so the hot dog falls on the ground. He picks it up and tries to serve it. Stuff like that. There's a lot of cringe stuff in here. There's a lot of gross out humor, and it's really dark and twisted. I mean, it involves necrophilia and murder with bags over the head and whatnot. But one of the most memorable lines in the movie, there's a couple, especially you'll see it in the trailer when he says he's like a deli boy from hell. He's perfect. The lines he says, this delivery is genius. I really enjoyed the movie, and I think on repeat viewings it will get better, to be honest. I think that it's unique and different, and I think people that like that kind of strange character study with that warped sense of humor and violence will really enjoy this one. It looks really sleazy and gritty as well. I liked it. I did think some of the flashes were kind of strange and thrown in there when he hallucinates that he's dancing. There's a lot of this kind of like having these oddball characters go to dance clubs or dance and just have these weird moments of like, it's similar to Cat Sick Blues. There's kind of a scene like that, but really bizarre character study, but really well acted for the most part as well. And a lot of the characters in here are quirky besides Ivan and Albert. But yeah, I would recommend, especially if you like that kind of strange cinema. On the there is a commentary with the editor and director and the guy who plays Ivan. I think his name is Theodore Bulukas. I'm not sure. Sorry, I saw it once, and I can't recall it. But this he's been in a bunch of movies, and he's really great in this. Sorry for the mispronunciation of his name. But there's also some short films by the lead actor in here. And through the commentary, you kind of realize that this guy's been acting in their movies for a long time. They kind of force him to do it, and they were in film college together. And he's a very awkward guy. There's even a commentary on one of the shorts, but really awkward. There's a trailer as well. I would recommend it. It's bizarre. It's different. And I think I love it, but I'll need to see it a couple more times.
Can we have 2 hot dogs, please?
Buddy, I'm guessing that hot dog is not for me, right? That is disgusting. What's your name, anyway?
Albert.
Oh.
You know, the heat from the grill actually helps keep the hot dogs clean and germ-free. What are you doing?
Taking your picture. I found quite a specimen.
I'm telling you, he is gold.
We're gonna make a little scene here.
He's so shy.
He looks like a bag boy in a deli. From a deli in hell.
He's gonna be the centerpiece of my next show. Fruits and vegetables, he's a growing
Some
boy.
milk.
Oh yeah. Look at that cream.
Art. Real art.
I don't know anything about art.
Kill the pig!
Butcher Albert's come to town. That was my first camera. My only question is, are you ready?
Ready for what?
Ready to snort coke off the tits of some model on the beaches of Saint-Tropez.
Pretend that you're eating the hot dogs and you're really hungry.
Albert, you're such a stallion.
I know you like my hot dogs, but you haven't seen anything yet.
This is what a real hot dog looks like, darling.
I'm a vegetarian, for goodness sakes. I pose nude for art.
That maggot right there, he's a parasite. He's just gonna chew, 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 chew.
Put this bag over your head.
Okay.
See, okay, let's try something else. Scratching your head. Yeah, like that. That's sexy.
You know the trouble you've caused me? The havoc you've wreaked? You're gonna pay for this. He's a hot dog vendor.
Oh, you're making it.
Why would I make that up?
Now, let me ask you something. Is it imported or American meat?
It's 100% American.
That's what I want to hear. I love America.
The next one, first time watch for me. I'm double checking the year because I still can't believe this was made in 1953. This is House of Wax with Vincent Price and Charlie Bronson. Yeah, one of Bronson's earlier roles. He plays an Igor type character named Igor. But yeah, I never saw House of Wax. I know I'd seen the stuff that was inspired by wax masks, wax work. So it was kind of a shame I hadn't seen it. Made in 1953. And to put this in perspective, this came out 1 year before The Creature from the Black Lagoon. This one's in color. What we have here is this eccentric, but very sweet and nice guy who runs this wax museum, played by Vincent Price, he molds these wax figures and he loves them to death. Of course, something tragic happens where he gets in a fight and the wax museum burns down and he disappears. Everybody thinks he's dead. Of course, knowing Vincent Price, like Fives or like Theater of Blood, he's not dead. He's, of course, horribly scarred. And these murders start to happen, and of course, Vincent Price pops back up in a wheelchair, and all the art displays, the wax displays, kind of look a little too real, if you know what I mean. But it's a fun movie. You know where it's going in every second. There's really... Vincent Price is lovely in it, and Charles Bronson's great as well. He plays this brutish kind of henchman for Vincent Price, and guy's built like a brick shit house back then. It's a very enjoyable classic movie. It looks good. It sounds good. I didn't get to watch it in 3D. I don't really want to talk too much about it because I'm sure so many people have seen The House of Wax, but it also includes The Mystery in the Wax Museum as well, which is a 30s horror movie, but it's really good stuff, a really fun kind of 50s style movie. It has some pretty gnarly violence in it, especially one of the kills is super elaborate. Vincent Price and elaborate kills go hand in hand, but that's A House of Wax. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and check it out. Remade, I believe in 2003 with Paris Hilton. The next one I actually do not have a copy of. It is by Chuck Conry, who did Morbid. It is Door 1 of the 5 Doors to Hell. That title to me is just almost a tongue twister. He did, like I said, a movie before called Morbid, which was a slasher. I didn't get a chance to see, but Chuck is a fellow reviewer. He does a lot of written reviews for, I think, Zombies Don't Run is the site he works on. But yeah, so this is a very low-budget independent movie. And it's an anthology film, so I can kind of relate, making a low-budget anthology film myself. But Door 1 to the 5 Doors of Hell. What we have here is it opens up with a group of, horror-crazed, two horror-crazed fans and their girlfriends in a video store trying to find a tape to take home. They're arguing with the shopkeep. He's like, get out of here, hurry up, I want to go home. So eventually he kind of forces this weird tape on him. Of course, the tape is haunted. That setup's been done before. Evil, kind of strange tape. You get sucked into the tape. It kind of seems like Stay Tuned a little bit here. So they go home and they get sucked into the tape. Each one of them has their own story. There's this weird kind of narrator who's basically wearing a mask and talking through the mask, probably 80 yard afterwards. There's 4 stories that unfold. One's a hillbilly horror, one's a haunted car, one's a mad scientist story, and one's a zombie slasher story. What I do like about the movie is sometimes the same characters, the same actors are reused. And they are the same the same actors. So it seems like these poor people have to keep coming into this evil tape, like they're trapped in there, like that's their destiny, to play reoccurring characters to just be slaughtered. And they do a nice little shout out to Return of the Living Dead Part 2 in there. The movie is riddled with horror references. And for me, sometimes it works, and other times it's very annoying to me. Here, it gets to the point where I'm like, I understand, you know a lot about horror movies. This movie's made for horror fans, too. But so if you're not a horror fan, you won't get any of the references. They dig fairly deep in here. They reference 555 and stuff like that. They do shout outs to Massacre Video. Not really my thing when they're that obvious and that abundant. At times it gets a little repetitive and annoying. But what the concept is great. The idea of horror fans being shoved into a horror movie. They kind of did it with Final Girls at one point. One of the characters is there, or Scream, that kind of thing. But some of these characters know how to beat it. Some of them get wiped out. The gore in here is mostly just splatter here and there. Some of it looks all right. The zombies in the movie, some of them I wouldn't know are zombies if I didn't know it was a zombie movie. That kind of effect. They're just kind of hobbling in the background like, I'm a zombie. And you're like, okay, I'll let that kind of stuff slide to me. Some of the stuff I didn't like was particularly a lot of the acting. I know a lot of people are, amateur actors. Some of them are fun. Some of them are having fun, and I can appreciate that. Some are pretty rough. It seems like sometimes they're improvising, and a lot of the improvising turns into, hey, bitch, what's up, bitch? Here's bitch, and that kind of stuff, it just gets really tedious to me. Like I said, some of the people were having fun. In particular, there's two characters who kind of play the I guess the movie's idiots or goons. There's a really funny heart-to-heart moment with those two. There's a couple dialogue scenes that are funny. All in all, it's just some of the scenes, I appreciate what they're trying to do. The shout-outs to all the classic horror movies. But sometimes it does get a little painful due to the acting and the dialogue. Mostly a lot of the dialogue. The sound issues, which I've been told that they're going to be taken care of at a certain point, so they're temporary. This was a screener copy. Are pretty bad in the opening in the video store. There's a lot of hissing and popping and stuff like that. Some of the framing could be better, but I understand that kind of stuff in a low budget stuff. So if you watch the trailer and it seems like you dig it, then check it out. It's not really my thing, but I appreciate what the hell they're trying to do at the same time.
Hey, Lewis, how are you still in business with this shit, man? None of this looks like anything a real horror fan would want to watch.
Jake, I think I got something that'll be right up your alley. Do you have a VCR?
Scarlett, Lewis set us up.
It has to be some kind of illusion.
We've got to stop this fucking tape.
I think that's all the movies I actually have to review. So I want to do a shout out, and I want to do a shout out to an individual. Autopsy FX. I don't know if he has a site or anything, but all the information will be below. It's Marcus Cook, actually spelled Koch. Marcus Cook is one of the best indie and special effects artist, period. This guy works on the bigger stuff and the smaller stuff. And he actually is a director as well with stuff like Fell, 100 Tears. What else did he do? American Guinea Pig, Bloodshock. So he's a really cool guy. And I think if you're working on an independent movie and you have some money and you want to buy a good special effects artist, one of the best in the business is Marcus Cook. This guy did some amazing effects with Her Name Was Torment 2. I got to work with him directly. And I've known him for a long time. He's a really cool guy, smokes like a damn chimney, but he smokes outside, but he's just a really cool guy, and he does top-notch work, and I think he's affordable for a lot of the indie guys. He's out of Florida, but he will travel. This guy's amazing. He didn't ask me to do this. I just thought, shout out to one of the best special effects and one of the coolest guys I know, Marcus Cook. I guess let's get into the old contest. Yeah, and what you'll be winning here is Slimy Little Bastards, Gamera 3-pack, and the Creepshow Blu-ray. So nothing too amazing. You're getting all three. So here we go. Here's the box. Here's the patchet, or the baggie? Patchet? What's going on? I just had a stroke. Let's mix these up. I actually got some. That's the one. The one that fell out's the one. I'm doing that from now on. So, who do we got? Jeff Harrop. Oh, let's see if we get it there. Is it popping up? I think I got the facial focus, so you might not be able to read it. We'll see it there. But regardless, it's Jeff Harrop. Shoot me your information. I'll get it out ASAP. And I must apologize. I have not got a chance to send out the last two contests because I've been really busy right now. I have not had time to go to the post office. So I really, really apologize to you, Tim Evans. It is going out before this video will post. Let's get into the new contest. What we got here. What I want to give away, here's what you got to do. First and foremost, you got to go to the Screaming Toilet Facebook, give it a like. Be subscribed to my YouTube channel, and leave a comment on the Screaming Toilet page this is hosted at. There will be a link below in the YouTube description box. What you do is, this is also the same place you will ask a question if you want to ask a question later. What you do is just say, I want to be entered in the contest. What you'll get is the chance to win Psychotica, which is a German film. This is a hard box. I had 2 copies of these. I've not seen the movie, but it is supposedly limited. It looks like a gore film, but this is Psychotica. Just do that to enter the competition. Hopefully people like German splatter. That's what it looks like. I have not seen it myself. Sorry. Now I guess I'll go into the update. We don't have a huge update here. We have 10 to Noon with Charles Bronson. This is a German import. Jill Ireland, his wife, is in it as well. We have Free Fire, which came out recently. This is by Ben Wheatley, who did Sightseers and Kill List and A Field in England. I love Sightseers. Did not like Field in England. Then we got some from the Criterion sale. M, which I had to have. Sorry, there's some glare there. Had to have M. Not had a chance to see it. The Night Porter, which I wanted to check out as well. Sorry, the glare, sorry. And Jubal with Ernest Borgnine, Charles Bronson, and who else is in this one? There's another big name in this one as well. But yeah, it's a Western. Those are the movies I have updated. I'll have more, of course, next week, but this is a small update as well. I guess I'll go into the Q&A. I'll probably be looking down here and there. I have probably a dozen questions or so I'll hop right into this. I'm going to have on the main camera here, so apologize if I look down to read. It's nothing. Tim Evans, what is your favorite movie? My favorite movie is 1985's Day of the Dead. R.I.P. George Romero. Usually I don't get all sensitive about a celebrity because I didn't personally know them. I met George once at a horror convention, and he was really cool. I didn't get a chance to talk to him very long. There was a huge line, but it actually hit me, you know. I feel bad for his family and friends, more so, you know. I was just a fan, but R.I.P. He was a legend. He made the best horror movies I know. I just felt like I saw him at a young age and I connected to him very well. I felt like I understood his movies more than any other director. But Day of the Dead's my favorite. Ryan Logston, what director or film series deserves an Arrow Criterion upgraded release? He said I would vote for Todd Solondz. Todd Solondz would be great. Happiness on there would be great. I don't really have a series, but I got 2 films. The Devils by Ken Russell. Love that movie. And The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. I love that movie. That movie is insane. I never saw that many Peter Greenaway. I never saw any Peter Greenaway movies except that one. But that one I've watched a few times, and it is just an amazing movie with Helen Mirren and Tim Roth and Michael Gambian. Just a really, really great movie. Art film, but feels like a play, but just completely twisted. Max A. In what movie did you have the best experience as an actor? Ooh, it's got to be a Dustin Mills movie because it's local. Working usually with Brandon and Dustin there, and we have a lot of laughs. Had a lot of fun on Invalid. Me and Brandon had a lot of downtime when we weren't actually acting, and we joked around a lot, made a lot of stupid characters and a lot of stupid stuff up. But I had a great time playing Marco Rossi in Rip 2. That was one of those roles where I felt like I was born to play, or my character of me was born to play. Brian Baker, what's one scene that immediately comes to mind when you think of something gruesome in a film that has stuck with you? For me, it's the infamous eyeball scene from Zombie 2. I still cringe and kind of look away when it happens. Yeah, the Zombie 2 scene is pretty gruesome. I don't know gruesome. I'm thinking of scenes that make me cringe or scenes that just bother me, especially death scenes. And I'm going to have to go with the one in Saving Private Ryan when Mellish, Adam Goldberg, gets killed. just bothers the hell out of me. That knife, no, he's playing with them. Anytime somebody's playing with them for their life, it really gets to me. Or actually any scene where a factory machine crushes someone, because I work in a factory. So the mangler, let's say when that poor old lady gets smashed, ugh, kind of makes me sick. Blaine Barlett, what was your first thing you ever collected? Like you said, I've always been a collector. I collected tapes, I collected toys, I collected cards, I collected everything. I kept it to movies, but I've always been a collector. I have a collector's mentality, but it's probably either cards, superhero cards, like the old ones before they made everything into a game. Didn't get that, but I collected just the cards with the stats and the little quips about the characters and stuff, and I also collected Muscleman, anything I could get my hands on. Christopher D, what is your favorite Charles Bronson movie? The Dirty Dozen. Love that movie, seen it 100 times. What is your favorite movie distributed by Mondo Macabro? My favorite by Mondo Macabro, an underrated one, is The Devil's Business, which is a really cool British horror supernatural movie. But my personal favorites, let me think, that might be that. They were supposed to release A Gun for Jennifer, and that would be my favorite. Symptoms is great, which is recent. A la Carta is great, which is a DVD. So one of those. Those are all really cool. Steve Ingelston, will you be directing another film soon? I'm going to direct a segment for Halloween Spookies too. But as a feature film, the whole length movie, I want to. Maybe in the next few years. Jeremiah Ball, what question is, will I be directing another film? Yes, sort of, like I said. Sorry, same question. Thomas Townsend, when we get Halloween Spookies on disc, I need my physical copies of my awesome stuff. Hell, I'd take a DVD-R of it. Halloween Spookies hopefully will be out in October sometime. We want to get it released for October, but we got some stuff to do on it. C.K. Huber, what are your thoughts, opinion on today's straight-to-video / streaming horror movies? Do you think they are better or worse than the Hollywood horror we get in theaters? That's a tough question. I mean, it depends on the movie. Because you get stuff like Starry Eyes that went to VOD and stuff, and that's great. The Canal, I don't remember that ever hitting theaters, and around here at least, those are both cool movies. But then in theaters, you get It Follows, you get The Witch, so you get good stuff both places. I think that a lot of today's straight-to-video movies are pretty shitty, but they always were. But I think that back then they were a little bit more fun. The straight-to-video movies seemed to be a little bit more fun. Like, you get like Leprechaun 3, and it was stupid, but it was fun. Or The Dentist, which was silly but great and way more twisted than you ever expect. Now you get like Crocagator, and that was a sci-fi version. Stuff like that is just, I don't know. So the straight-to-horror stuff is tough. But I mean, the VOD is a huge platform for mid-tier movies, which tend to be the best nowadays. Brian Murata, can you review older films like The Devil Commands? The Devil Commands, does it have an AK name? Because that one's not ringing a bell. But I should. The older horror films he wants me to review, I will. I'll get to them. I'd like to, like I said, but give me some suggestions. I have so much stuff. So many horror movies around here. Douglas, you mentioned feeling a bit burnout when watching the same old stuff, and I feel the same way. Sick of zombies, reboots, and prequels. Do you think that the best chance a low-budget filmmaker has to get noticed is to play it safe and cater to existing genre fans based or on, sorry, there's a little typo here, or I must have copied it wrong. Based on to go out on a limb with some originality. Sorry, I'll wait for that buzzer thing. But I think that playing it safe will get you in a red box. If you put something on a cover that has a woman crawling away, or it's a ghost film, or it's like an Amityville, or the Ghost Experiment, that might get you in a red box. But the people that rent it are just going to be, everyday people, and they're not going to give you much exposure. I guess if you move units, that might give you some more money to do another job, but it's always going to be something like that. I don't think you're ever going to make a huge name for yourself with catering to the audience on a low budget genre, on a low budget thing. I think that it's just going to be impossible almost for a low-budget person to get noticed in today's market. It's not like the Kevin Smith days or the Sam Raimi days where if you did get a chance to make a movie, you're putting yourself out there, you're putting a lot into it. A lot of people can make movies now, and there's so many movies out there that a lot of the good stuff gets shoveled under crap or doesn't get distro. There's so many people out there distributing their own stuff that it's hard to find out what's good or not, So, I think that if you go out on a limb and make something crazy, you'll make 5 or 6. You'll make a small portion of the people's favorite movie, which will be diehard fans. You can create a loyal fan base by doing that. But do I think you could strike it big? Probably not, unless get to that mid level. Like the Starry Eyes or like Turbo Kid people, they could. But on the super low budget level, like $1,000, if you're not a 10-year-old, 15-year-old kid or somebody who comes from a special place making something that is an underdog, it's going to be hard. It's going to be real hard. Matt Godfrey, here's a strange question. What was the most uncomfortable and or awkward you felt acting in a film? I've only seen you in Halloween Spookies and Headless, so I would think between those two it would be the latter. But anything else that felt a bit strange filming? In Headless there was strange moments, and not because the people on set, just because towards the end that basement where they filmed it was all made gross and it was wet. So the carpet had gotten wet and it had gotten cold at night, so laying on the carpet naked was not pleasant. And I just was like started getting that jaw shake when you can't control it. That was uncomfortable, but probably Hunters because it was my first nude scene. I was nude in Hunters, and it was the first time I did it, and I was not in my state. I was not, and I didn't, I was completely so far away from home in the middle of the woods, not middle of the woods, but I was outside. So it was it's like diving in a pool for the first time, not dipping your toe in. That's what it felt like. But it's all right. I got over it. But those are all the questions. Thanks again. And stay tuned for an hour interview with Dustin Mills at the end of this video. It's a straight hour long. And make suggestions who else you want me to interview. No, don't be throwing out names like, I want to interview John Carpenter, because that ain't going to happen. But thank you very much for watching, and have a good one. I'm here with billionaire, prolific filmmaker Dustin Wayne Mills?
Wade.
It's Wade?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you're right, it's not.
All right. I like to call him DW, like D.W. Washburn from the Monkees. But Dustin's a pretty prolific indie guy. If you guys aren't familiar with his work, he did Puppet Monster Massacre, Zombie A-Hole, Her Name Was Torment, a slew of other movies, tons of stuff. And he's made a name for himself by making 7 movies a year, 8 movies a year.
Not for a while, but there for a while I was making a lot, yeah.
You've actually been slow this year.
Yeah.
Have you, was technically Her Name Was Torment 2 was released last year or this year?
This year.
This year.
Really, yeah. And I actually have been making stuff. It's just like, with Torment 2 not being out when it was supposed to be out, like, I learned my lesson with Invalid where I released it, and then, like, everybody, like, was irritated that I was releasing stuff before Torment was out, so now I'm like, I have to get Torment out before I release the 8 movies that I'm sitting
Well, you probably want to do, some, like, throw it out there and let people know it's coming. Because what was the one you did, Hornet Sting and a Hell It's Cause?
Yeah.
We're like, wouldn't it be a good idea if it just popped out of nowhere?
Yeah, if we just did a surprise movie.
And then like 3 people watched it and we're like, it was alright. And then,
well, except that now that one's like one of the most popular ones.
I think it's because there's tons of nudity in it.
It's very sleazy.
It's very sleazy.
Yeah.
It's like, what, a Skinematic movie or a
Skinemax.
Yeah, Skinemax movie.
It's like art sleaze weirdness, yeah.
So basically, this is a new interview segment. I'm going to talk to people that I know, indie people. Me and Dustin are good friends. There's no secret there, although we secretly hate each other. But
I don't secretly hate you. You secretly hate me.
This is awkward now. But I guess let's just kind of bullcrap. It's going to be really, even though we're wearing nice shirts, even though I have stains on mine.
I just wanted to look not like a homeless person on camera.
We talked about that earlier. It's like, the worse I look, the ruder people are to me. But like, if I like shave and go and get a haircut, people are like really nice to me. But if I'm not, they're like, this guy, fuck this guy. But we're going to talk about some of your upcoming projects. I'm going to throw out some questions randomly, fun questions. Yeah. But Her Name Is Torment 2. People probably asking, where's my copy?
Yeah.
I pre-ordered it. And 3. It's like, but there wasn't a pre-order up for 3.
No, well, there was, but not from the Indiegogo. Yeah. All the domestic ones are out. I did get a couple returned because I guess people weren't paying attention. Yeah. We asked for, fix their address, so I have to fix those. But other than that, all the domestics are out. So far, the reaction's been pretty positive. Yeah. I've seen mostly good reactions. It's one of those movies that, if it's your kind of thing, I think it works really well for you, and if it's not, then you're just kind of not going to be into it, because it's not a pleasant movie. Like, it's not a movie
gross.
It's real gross. It's not a movie that like I would just put on for shits and giggles. But the people who are really into gore and depravity seem to be.
You fucking perverts out there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. But I know your address. I got it off Dustin. I'm coming for you. Yeah. I told that. Well, what's that guy? The guy who catches perverts when he's like, why don't you have a seat?
Yeah, the Catch a Predator guy. I can't remember.
No, but
Chris Hansen.
Yeah, there it is. I remember sitting down in the hotel room. You did a screening, and like the cast was there, and it was just like one of the silent like moments where it's just like all you could hear a pin drop, and just like.
like the movie ends and then it's like everyone's just quiet. And then people just like slowly got up and like left the room, and I was like, "Oh my god, what have we done?"
It's like one of the Cage moments, like Keith Voigt Jr.
Yeah.
Like every time somebody says something like really weird or just something awkward happens, like, and they like look at him, he'll just be like, no words. They just like nod, like, and it's my favorite thing he does. It always cracks me up. But that's how I was. I was like when it was like when I saw Snuff It, I was like, I don't even know if I like this.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I just like.
What is
fucking
this?
weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. You see so many movies like that, reviewing movies, you just see so much weird stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, but when it's weird and it's good, or at least it's different, you're like, at least it was interesting. That's all I ask at this point.
Yeah, that's how I feel about a lot of stuff. Is if it didn't bore me.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's because a lot of stuff bores the shit out of me.
There's so many independent filmmakers out there now. Everybody's out there because anybody can pick up a camera. You know, idiots like Dave Parker out there making terrible movies. But but what makes you different? You think than other indie guys out there?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea except for maybe that I'm too dumb to quit. Like that's like I mean like my career has been so up and down like financially. Like I feel like it's always been up creatively, but financially it's like all over the place. And if a smarter person would probably stop and do
or just like move to a place and like edit pornos in a back room and make a bunch of money.
Something. Yeah, but I'm too dumb to do that.
I don't know if it's that. I mean, you do work on the side as well. You do a lot of different things. You're, I guess, a jack of all trades. You kind of bring in income through other ways.
Yeah,
too.
I've been doing here lately. I've been doing a lot of special effects gigs. Like for the past year, those have been off and on. And I just did a couple of those, and that's cool. And then I have a kind of a day job where I edit and do videography and stuff like that, and animation.
It's funny because I think that a lot of people just think that independent filmmakers, they'll be like, oh, well, like people, it's such a broad umbrella. It's like the guys who made Starry Eyes, independent filmmakers, but they're in LA and they like they have so many more connections. They're like editing and doing gaffing for like big movies or bigger movies, so their connections are bigger. Literally everything you do is created on your own or through like this small little indie group. So it's so much more different, and it's
I mean the same sort of networking happens just on a smaller level,
a tiny level.
Like I mean, just when I was on, I was working on Powerbomb. I did effects for Powerbomb a couple days ago, and they have like their I guess she'd be like their production designer or whatever. She's doing the costumes and did hair and makeup and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna steal her because she's doing jobs that I don't want to do. Like, you know what I mean?
You always see
like, and then get on Facebook. I'm like, hey, you want to come work for me?
It's
stuff
like cherry
that.
pick the best people you get or the people you can work with, and not want to punch in the face. But.
Which that is the value I think of like being on. There's a lot of value as a filmmaker being on other filmmaker sets because for sometimes it's really vindicating because you see them doing really stupid shit and you're like, oh, at least I'm smart enough not to do what that guy's doing.
Yeah.
And then other times they do something that you hadn't thought of and you're like, oh, I'm gonna steal that idea. And
either way, dumber or smarter than you, they're definitely you're learning from them.
Right.
What to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
It's funny that there's like drama in like the indie world because it's like. This isn't fucking Hollywood, guys. It's like you got to get it done, and I understand, and you should take it seriously. You wouldn't be doing it if you weren't taking it seriously in the first place because it's your free time.
And those like that sort of shit is the because I have no interest in any of that. Like I just really don't want to deal with any of it. And I've seen a lot of that. Like I tried to turn my focus like more locally minded to the Toledo area, and it's been good. Like I've met really cool people, and I'm getting projects off the ground with really neat people. But at the same time, I'm like some of these guys act like they're like Scorsese or something. Like I'm just like, what are you doing? You're making shitty no budget movies in Ohio, just like the rest of us are. Stop acting like it's anything else. And the filmmakers I tend to be friends with and can get along with are the people who kind of have a similar mindset where they're just like, we just want to make the movies. We don't care about.
I don't care about your ego.
Right.
You're gonna die. I'm gonna die, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, you say that earlier that you kind of like disconnected from like I guess I want to say the indie world on a broader sense, and you just kind of focused. You eliminated like your Facebook page, kind of. You just went to like a fan page.
Yeah, which some people didn't like, but what it's allowed me to do, I mean, especially now with the Patreon going on, is like, I like, please don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way. But like, I do not care about the indie horror community. There was a time when I did. I don't anymore. I don't care how they feel about my stuff. What I care about is the people who like my stuff and support my stuff, and that's who I want to completely focus on. And it's not to say like there's something wrong with the indie horror community or anything like that. I'm not shitting on anybody. But for me personally, as like this is gonna sound pretentious, but like as an artist and as a filmmaker, it just makes more sense for me to narrow my focus to the people who actually actively give a shit about what I'm doing.
We just lost a light, but I think
Did we
we'll be
really?
okay. Yeah, I told you it drains those
Yeah.
things. But I also noticed that I feel that way about everything artistic.
Yeah.
If you're going out there to make movies to make money, although you should always try to make money, if your general concern is to make money, you're making movies not for yourself, not to explore some weird artistic thing, then your movies usually suck.
Yeah.
It's like, I just wanted, unless they're just balls to the walls, Roger Corman, super fun movies, but they were talented besides just going to make money, so
Right.
it pays. There's a lot of people that aren't talented that just want to go out there and make a buck, and it's tedious as hell to watch.
Yeah.
And
The people who are just like, what's selling right now? Oh, I'll make a slasher movie or I'll make a zombie movie, which is fine. I've made slashers and zombies,
Yeah.
but you have to, like you're saying, you have to find a way to spin it. Especially, there's nothing more frustrating to me from indie filmmakers when they're just making like shitty versions of movies that already exist. They're just making like a crappy, cheaper version of a movie
Friday
they
13th.
love. Yeah.
It's like,
It's like, no, you have to like play to your abilities and play to your freedoms as an indie filmmaker. Like, you can put stuff in a movie and no one's going to tell you no.
and your personal sensibilities.
Yeah.
We want to see you. You should see somebody in your movie. But that's a problem with a lot of independent filmmakers. This light is killing me. It comes back on. All right. But
I got bad juju in the studio.
That light does not like you.
Yeah.
But they go out and they don't watch other independent movies.
Yeah.
If they never saw an independent movie in their life. It's like, I've seen every slasher movie from 1980 to 1989, and I'm going to go out and make a bad version of that. But they're all the big ones. So you make a bad version of that, and you make some of the same mistakes that a lot of the independent people made previously.
Yeah.
And no one's going to be in love with your characters like you are.
Yeah. That's absolutely
There's way
true.
too many long independent movies.
That's the thing too, like, and I've been guilty of that too, like, especially earlier on. But yeah, you run into people who are kind of like in love with their screenplays, like they've written something amazing, but like, to me, like, I write like 12 screenplays a year, and none of them are like, I'm never like, oh, but yours is really special, I'm like, dude, you just write the screenplay, you make the movie, like, it's not
Worthy of Shakespeare.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you just finished up on well, let's talk about actually your Patreon, because
Okay.
you just started that.
Yeah, I just started the Patreon, which is crazy. We passed 300 in like a week or something.
That's good.
Which is nuts. That was one of our goals, which I have a ton of work to do. I actually taking time off of my regular job so I can catch up on my Patreon, because I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened so quick. It's really cool. It's a place where people who like dig my stuff can go, and it's very, very focused. It's like you can talk to me at any moment. It's like building a community around liking Dustin Mills movies is kind of the idea.
Yeah.
And it's really, really cheap to get involved. Like, for $2 you can be a patron, or $5, or going on up, and you get cool shit as you go. And it's literally life changing. Like, it's already changing the way that I like am able to do stuff. And I think what's really cool about it, and the reason I want to push it so hard, is because it's also creating this steady, like, bank of production money.
Yeah.
Wherever, like, right now, every month I have $300 I can go into production, where it's like, shit, a light broke, we need a light, or I want to make this short but I can't pay people, now I can pay my actors.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it's really cool. I kind of feel like it might be the future of doing stuff like this,
because that's nobody wants. There's always hardcore fans that are willing to pay for what they want, and those are the people that are gonna push this stuff
and
forward.
those are the people who deserve my attention too. That's that's the thing, like I kind of talked about earlier, the people who deserve my undivided attention, the people who deserve for me to like actually spend time and like and to talk to them, and this sounds really snooty, but I don't care, are the people who are like, we'll support you to the ends of the earth. Like, they believe in me so hard that they're willing to help me get stuff made.
You've had that point about supporting. People are like, I support you. Watching a movie is not really supporting.
No.
Going out there and spreading the word and telling people about it and writing reviews and spending money on it and encouraging them, that's support.
Yeah. It is a weird thing. Like, there's this weird mentality. It's not just in indie, like,
entitlement everywhere.
It's like, well, it's everywhere, where it's just like, I support the cause against autism. And I'm like, okay, well, what did you do?
I posted that I supported it.
Well, but yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Like, did you throw money at it? Did you go, do a marathon to raise money for it? Like, don't say, like, it's fine if you didn't, but don't say you support something unless you're actively doing something to keep it alive.
Well, I never use it. I'd be like, I agree or I disagree.
Yeah.
Like, I don't support a lot
that's
because
completely
it gets
different.
expensive to support a lot of stuff,
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, I as far as that goes, I think that people need to be more aware of voting with their wallets about what they want to keep existing. Because really, when it comes to arts and entertainment, stuff only gets to keep it happening if you feed it. And that's why. And again, like, this might be a hot take. I feel like everybody's gonna hate me after this interview. But like, I don't believe in like supporting the underground, supporting indie film. I don't believe in that. I believe in supporting what you like. Because not every indie film, not every underground film is created equally. And not all of them do deserve your support. Yeah, and like the idea of just like throwing money at the world of indie and underground film, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It makes more sense to be like, I love Toe Tag. So Toe Tag is amazing. I'm going to support Toe Tag.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? That's what makes sense to me. And like I said, I think it's probably going to come off me sounding more like a jerk than I'm trying to be here, but I don't like that mentality, because I've seen it happen. You get people, these like hangers on who are like, they've made a shitty movie and they didn't even try, and they're like, support us, we're indie. And I'm like, I'm not going to support you just because.
It's the people that wanted to make money. They don't really care about indie movies in the first place. And they're like, support us, we're indie. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's like, support me, I made a good movie. How about that? You know, that makes more sense.
Well, like you said, you pay for a product, they get product. That's how it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's the gross side of it that no one wants to talk about, but like, it's true. Like,
it is a business. In the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't make money on Slimy Little Bastards. I didn't care. That was just something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I do charge for it most of the time. You know what I mean? But I don't make much money. I have no clue how much.
I'm always like, it's nice if I make money off of something, but I never count on anything to make money, because at this point, after I don't even remember how many movies I've made so far, like, I know what a crapshoot it is.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why did Invalid, something that like I sort of like poured my soul into, like, was really, really important to me, didn't really do well, still doesn't do well. But Her Name Was Torment, which we literally shot in my garage in 2 days, like, became this like borderline underground phenomenon that spawned a way bigger sequel and everything. It's just a funny, like, you can't predict it.
But you think about that, almost all the creative movies that people love, they didn't make money.
Yeah, no.
The Thing didn't make, even on a bigger scale. I'm talking a bigger scale. We're not saying, we're making things or you're making things, but The Thing
didn't make money. Night of the Living Dead didn't make money. Monster Squad didn't make money.
Those are the best.
Those are all these movies that are wonderful. Night of the Creeps didn't make money.
Did Prom Night make money?
Probably.
That movie sucks.
It does suck.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, his other movie's better. It probably made less. Humongous. It probably made less money than Prom Night. It's just funny like that.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's what makes money. Who's in it at the time it hit and everything.
And I feel like I'm getting good as an adult at like recognizing, like, okay, this movie didn't do well now, but in 10 years everyone's going to be talking about how underrated it is. Like, I'm starting to get a real good beat on that, because I keep seeing it happen. Like, the big one I just noticed is, like, there's all these people defending Jason Goes to Hell. I've always loved Jason Goes to Hell. I think it's great. It's totally ridiculous, but there's a lot of people who are now like, that movie's not so bad, it's actually underrated. And I'm like, well, no shit. But like 5 years ago, everyone was like, fuck that movie.
Because the funny thing is, if you start looking back, so many movies are flooding into the market that are just abysmal, that even shitty movies or okay movies back then, you're like, it's pretty good. You're watching just a B movie, like, I'm like, That's Wish 5. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. When it came out, hated it.
We were just talking about that. Excuse me. How, back in like like, I would say like between like 95 and 2000, there was this era where even the shitball movies
were fun.
Were still pretty good. You know what I mean?
Soldier,
yeah.
When I saw that when it came out, I was like, okay. Didn't hate it, kind of liked it.
Now you watch it now and you're
like, this is great.
This is better than 90% of movies I watch now, yeah.
That's what I thought about Green Room. Everybody's like, it's so good. I was like, Green Room's like the caliber of No Escape or Trespass or Surviving the Game. Solid movies I really, really like, but like, they're not number one on anybody's list of that year.
It feels like a late night, like HBO, kind of like the Substitute 3 followed by the Green Room. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
And it's totally fine. But everyone like shit their pants like it was the most
shit
amazing.
To bed. Best movie I've ever seen. That's what everybody said. I was like, but his previous two movies, Blue Room, which got a lot of buzz, but Murder Party, which is genius.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about Murder Party until after Blue Room came out. I loved Murder Party. And I'm
Murder
happy.
Party's great.
I'm not one of those guys like, I liked it first. No. I'm glad he's getting it, because we would have never saw Blue Ruin or any. I mean,
and that's thing, like, even though I didn't love Green Room, like Jeremy Saulnier's. Like, he's amazing.
That's a guy I'll support.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he's awesome. Like, he has ideas, and he's trying to execute cool stuff, and he has a good beat on character and tone, Yeah, so we like Jeremy Saulnier.
Saulnier. Sorry for that cut.
Or Saul. I don't know how you say it.
I don't know. Do I look French? It's like, it's not French, dickhead. I'm like,
it might be. I don't know.
I can never say any names unless I hear them pronounced out loud first, multiple times. So people always give me shit for that. Like, actually, it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't have the internet when I was 7 years old. I looked on the back of the box and read it.
Yeah.
But what about Rip? You want to talk about Rip at all?
Yeah, we can talk about Rip. Rip is it's actually not technically Wrapped. I was just talking to Wes about that because we still have to do his like phone dialogue. But Rip is like my. I don't even know how to describe it. What genre is Rip?
Friday the 13th meets Quentin Tarantino.
I guess, right? Like I don't know. It's like a slasher meets a crime noir action movie kind of.
Yeah, but it's black and white and filmed like a noir, so which is crazy.
Yeah, and then the whole like the whole gimmick.
Got that slasher gimmick.
Got that black and white gimmick.
Got that film noir gimmick.
The whole gimmick with the killer is that he never uses a weapon the whole movie. So it's literally just him, like, ripping people apart, knocking heads off, smashing things, yeah.
Just call him the Masher. What is his name in that? I can't remember. Joe?
No,
Joe is
it's,
Brandon.
I can't remember. You put me on the spot. Sonny.
Sonny and Joe, yeah.
Yeah, his full name is Sunder Twain, but he goes by Sonny. We never say Sunder Twain in the script, but that was just...
You read Sutter Kane?
You read Sunder... Well, Sunder Twain sounds like a name. But it also, those words mean break into. Sunder is to break, and Twain is into, so to break into. So that's some real pretentious bullshit that I put in the movie for no reason.
You know it. We don't have to.
Yeah,
that's good. That's what you're good about. Is you know everything about it. You create this thick mythology like Clive Barker. I'm not, like the low budget Clive Barker. Yeah. It's deep in there. A lot of people are like, I don't know. He's a fat monster and he eats chili dogs. That's the plot. Why does he eat chili dogs? Who gives a fuck? There's tits.
Because they're delicious. Now look at them tits.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I guess like Rip is. It's one of those movies where every time I edit a scene from it, I'm like, oh, this is the best scene I've ever edited. Like, that's how I feel about that movie.
I'm excited. That's the most fun I had, I think, for a character.
Really excited for that movie. It's just the mashup of all the different kinds of characters and all the good... I mean, everybody put in a good performance. I don't think there's a single bad performance in the thing. Josh Yale playing the, like, monster, like, better than... He's so perfect for it. And he made so many good choices in the acting, and... You got Brandon chewing the scenery to bits.
There's that part where the two other actors kept laughing.
Yeah, I wanted to kill him. Yeah,
because I was just.
I mean, I love those guys.
I mean, it's great, but like, it's not funny to you. It's funny. I mean, it's not funny to your character. Stop laughing. Yeah. You're just like, what the fuck's with this guy?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, right, like, so, just so they know, like, Brandon Sawkill is an amazing actor.
He's good.
And he goes full tilt no matter what he's doing. And if you put him with actors that have not seen the majesty that is the way he performs, like sometimes it throws them off. And we had a couple actors who they kept and I don't want to make them feel bad. They're good guys. They're great guys and they were great actors, but they kept flubbing a scene because they were laughing at how like intense Brandon was. Like it would just make them laugh.
Me and Dave were just off to the side like
come on, boys.
I was like, oh, that's funny. Then I watched. You know what I mean?
And I like hardly ever get irritated on set, but I was like starting to I was like, all right, guys, let's. Every time you blow a shot, that shot is gone forever.
like when they say go, like I don't think like when they say action, it's like I don't laugh. Yeah. Like I'm just like,
yeah.
Like I just don't know. I just like dead.
That's always been my theory, right? Like because I don't say action, I count down.
Yeah.
And my theory is always like in that 5, 4, 3. That's the time you have.
Yep. To
switch into the movie, and like most people can, but every once in a while, I guess. But I also can kind of understand because if I'd never met Brandon. And all of a sudden you put me in a scene with him and he like went full fucking Sawkill, I think it would throw me off too.
But you don't want to look bad.
No.
You don't want to let that guy eat you alive.
No, and you don't want to make him look bad. Yeah. So
you don't want to like I can't let it slide. Hurt my pride. I can't let it slide. You want to get eaten alive out there when you see him, you're just like, oh fuck.
And the other thing that's cool about Rip is there's a lot of locals in it. A lot of Toledo locals.
Almost everybody except
for Josh, right? Yeah. Yeah, everybody else was.
Big cast, too.
Yeah, very big cast. We had that colossal shootout, which was crazy to film. And
tons of goon extras.
Yeah, lots of goons.
All looking goony and weird.
That was all there just for you. That was like...
I figured that. No, but you're going to want that. Because you're
going to want them goons.
You're going to want that goonage. No, but it's awesome at the end because it's a big shootout. You gotta have a shootout.
Oh yeah.
If there's a crime movie, like, because that movie ends in like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it ends on a climax where it could have ended like True Romance with James Gandolfini pairing off against Patricia Arquette. When I first saw that movie, I was like, oh, it's over. That's the fight. It's coming to a conclusion. And then at the end of True Romance, there's this like Mexican standoff 3-way shootout. And I actually was like this on the edge of my seat when I saw it. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, we go from this like big gore set piece, like the horror side of it, this big like people getting ripped up, people melting, like this thing, to like a like dyed in the wool crime movie shootout, like which it's you, but like Bruce Willis looking motherfucker comes down the stairs with 2 Uzis and just like going at a room of guys. And
I had a lot of sodium during that film. Like I have big love handles. I'm all sluggish.
Stop, it's ridiculous.
We had fun though.
I had a lot of sodium. You're at that Zoop. You getting
Zoop,
that Zoop?
we had that Val Kilmer Zoop. That's a shout out to our old podcast. A joke about actors always looking completely bloated on sodium. Dean Cain, Val Kilmer. Who else was there?
What's Legolas, the guy from Lord of the
Rings?
Oh,
Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom, yeah.
Zoop City, USA.
Anybody we could think of that was
Travolta.
fat and red. Yeah, Travolta.
They're just like skinny bodies or like bloated bodies, but like just real like puffy faces. Like they've just been like eating MSG all day.
I feel like at some point Buck Flower ended up in there too. And
Buck Flower always in there.
I don't know why.
Oh, you know what's crazy to me?
What?
I was watching Outlaw Josie Wales, and Royal Dano popped up.
Yeah.
And he was a drunk again.
He made a career on being drunk.
If it was a serious drunk in Messiah of Evil, or like a comical drunk in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I want my Pooh Bear.
Yeah.
Where's my Pooh Bear?
It's just funny. He just pops up. He's always so great. And Ghoulies too.
Yeah.
Dude, I think this guy really was a drunk.
It could be.
But he's so good at it.
Yeah.
He probably became like an Austin where he became a drunk because he had to constantly play a drunk.
Do you think he and Buck Flower ever hung out and just talked about how, like, I'm always a drunk? He's like, oh, I'm always a gross, borderline homeless guy.
He's like, I'm kind of drunk.
Yeah, he's like...
It's like the scene when Milhouse meets a Millhouse. This is what it's like when doves cry.
Yeah.
We still got way more. How many more movies you got coming out? Like 12? 30?
So there's Hornet's Disciple.
Yeah.
And Neon Doom. That's the order of the next two. I know for sure that it's Hornet's Disciple and then Neon Doom. Hornet's Disciple, Neon Doom, Rip, Blackheart and White Hell 2.
Benny and Steve.
Benny and Steve Almost Die. Her Name Was Torment 3. Is that it?
You said Blackheart and White Hell 2, right?
Yeah. Which I'm wrapping today when I leave here.
You had a bunch of like monster shit shot too, didn't you? For like shorts.
Monsters. No, that's for Blackheart. If that's what you see,
yeah.
like the monster makeups and stuff I was posting.
I thought you were doing like a websode thing.
Oh, I'm doing I Love Monsters, but that's more like this. This is like, like talking
just
and stuff.
Talking heads.
Yeah, but I did get clips. Like I got one from you and Tom Berdinsky and Rob Dimension and Brandon and all these guys talking about why they love monsters. So it's gonna be like the first episode.
Yeah. Everybody loves monsters.
Yeah, if you don't, you suck.
You're weird.
Yeah,
you're probably like some weirdo.
It's like people who are like, I don't really like dogs. I'm like, well, you're a bad person.
My dogs suck. You never had one.
Yeah,
You've never been around a dog. That's why you don't like dogs.
If you hate dogs, the only excuse is that you were attacked by one.
Multiple.
Yeah, that's like the only excuse. If you just hate dogs,
I would just hate that dog.
You're Jeffrey Dahmer.
I would just hate that dog.
Yeah.
I mean, Dahmer liked dogs. You like to cut them up, I'm sure. But I'm going to throw out some random questions just off the top of my head.
All right.
I'm not going to be like, what's your favorite movie growing up?
Okay.
Because everybody knows it was Princess Diaries.
Right, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, 2.
Part 2 is really good. And Bridget Jones' Diary, stuff like that. Anything with a diary.
But it's Diary then 2. So.
And Diary of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zombie Diaries. Anything with a diary.
Right, yeah.
Love diaries.
Yeah.
But
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Fulci versus Argento. Who do you like better?
So hard. I think there's a time when I would say Argento, but now I think I'd say Fulci.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know that... I love a lot of Argento movies, but I also have this feeling that Argento was only as good as
his crew.
Because there's been a lot of like bad recent Argento movies, and Fulci was pretty consistent. Like you could tell a Fulci movie, you know what I mean?
But some people think that it was Fulci's writer or producer, one of his producers during that gate where like all this stuff. Like I think he had the crazy ideas, and it's just like a lot of people think that he like helped him bloom.
That could be. All I know is I've never seen a Fulci movie that didn't feel like a Fulci movie.
Yeah,
I've seen Argento movies that don't feel like Argento movies.
Dracula 3D
and his Masters of Horror things, and none of them feel like Argento.
Yeah, but his early stuff is just... He's like an auteur, I guess you'd say, or whatever, Arthur, whatever, but his stuff is all, like, he's exploring all these crazy ideas originally. He's probably a better filmmaker, I'd say, but
yeah,
I'm a
the
Fulci
thing.
guy.
But Fulci, I think, like, I loved Opera.
Yeah.
I thought Opera was genius.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch Zombie 400 times more than I'm going to watch Opera.
Zombie, Beyond, all day.
Yeah.
All day. And, you know, Fulci, he wasn't one of those guys. He wasn't a one-trick pony. Fulci could do everything.
Yeah,
Maybe he couldn't do it. Giallo's better than Argento, but he could do everything good.
Yeah.
I mean, Don't Torture a Duckling is amazing. That's a Giallo, so.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, you know, ask people Fulci or Argento.
I mean, I love them both, but yeah, I guess if younger me, more pretentious me would probably say Argento, but I think I have to say Fulci just because I rewatch Fulci stuff way more.
Since we brought up Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm just going to throw this out there. What serial killer fascinates you the most?
David Parker Ray.
Dude, that guy's insane.
The Toy Box Killer. Not only just because he kind of shares your name a little bit, but like that guy, I want to make a movie about that because it bothers me so much. The idea of it just really irks me. Like
it's really weird. You don't have any victims, and like they said he had a low IQ, but nobody found the bodies. He dug them back up.
There's no way. I don't know. There's no way he was dumb. I mean, he was literally using like MK Ultra military brainwashing techniques on this show. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, and then,
you guys should look up David Parker Ray, the Toy Box. It's Toy Box Killer, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's horrifying. Like, it's absolutely horrifying.
Because there's the toolbox killers too.
Yeah,
the toy box killers. It's hard to keep track of these psychos.
Yeah.
But the one redeeming thing about him is during the trial, where they had her in there. He's like, "Yeah, I did it. It's okay. Whatever. Just end this."
Yeah.
And then he died like days later or something of a heart attack, so he never served any time.
Yeah.
They never see a lot of these guys spend times years where they get to spill their guts.
Yeah.
Some don't talk, you know, but you know, I'm just interested in serial killers. I think everybody is.
Yeah.
Not that I
I've
worship
recently,
them. I think they're garbage, but
yeah, exactly. Like, as I go, like, I feel like it's really stereotypical. With the older I get, the more I'm just like, I want to watch true crime. Like, I'm gonna be like just one of those old people sitting there watching Forensic Files on loop.
That was my mom and dad. It's like, how many ways can the husband kill the wife and the wife kill the husband? Yeah. They poisoned him. It was the wife. All right. What?
Yeah.
It's the same story every time. It's
if it was poison, it was the wife.
The first 48, it's like, they're gonna find this guy, or they're not. It's the same story.
It is funny, though. I don't know why, as I get older, I become more fascinated. But
it's the equivalent of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for adults.
Yeah.
It's the same setup.
You know
and
exactly
it's the
what's
same way.
gonna
Everything.
happen,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just keep interesting in it.
Which is, I wish that there were, like, those shows were better because I can't watch those shows. I can watch a really good documentary about serial killers and stuff, but like the shows about them are so cheap and so stupid. I can't stand it.
One thing that I noticed you're really good at is taking genres that you're burnt out on or don't really like and making them completely your own. I would say this is like Jorg Buckarett, who did Necromantic 2. Everybody's like, make Necromantic 2! So he went out and instead of making like the gory splatter movie everybody was begging for, he went out and made this slow art movie where it's just two naked people talking, and when they go to the theaters, it's super slow. I think that you kind of did that to horror fans at the well. You have that movie Kill That Bitch, where everybody's like, oh, that's misogynistic, that's bullshit, and then they put in the movie, and it's like almost everybody that is a female, they're strong, they're powerful, and it's just a line in the movie that a woman says about another woman.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, that's misogynistic without seeing it. So you kind of flipped it on its head.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. And I don't exactly do it on purpose, but I'll be like when I went to make Invalid, which isn't a slasher movie.
Yeah.
When I started writing Invalid, I'm like, I'm gonna make a slasher movie. And then it turned into that. Which I'm like, that's as close as I can get, I guess, to a slasher movie. Because it's like my least favorite subgenre. Yeah. There's a couple that I love. Like, I love The Burning.
Oh, who doesn't?
But... yeah, I it's not usually intentional. Well, Torment is the same way. Whereas, like, I'm gonna make a torture porn, and then I added this weird, crazy psychological aspect to it and mythology to it because if I didn't, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah,
you
don't want to make something you don't like.
No.
At all. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of funny that you do that. You just flip it on their head. I just imagine so many like people like, oh, I can't wait to watch a bunch of women get massacred and violently, and then it turns to that. They're like, oh, that's different.
Yeah.
Remember that reviewer that said it was Ex Machina?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
He doesn't know what that word
I don't know.
means.
I had to bring that up because it was dumb. It's like he word of the day website or something. And
He's
threw
got
it in
his little
review.
word of the day calendar.
It's like on a Murder Party where he has those words that he writes down to say later.
Yeah.
He gets it with the sodium. What is that? What is the sodium? What makes you the true serum?
Pentothal.
Yeah, there it is. Didn't I have a hell of a time saying that, or some kind of disease like medicine like that in Benny and Steve? Remember that? Could not say the damn word.
Oh yeah, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Oh, I can't remember.
Some
I do remember
shit.
that instance.
But I have obviously pronunciation skills.
Oh, it was amyl nitrate.
There it is.
Or amyl nitrite. Yeah.
But the other guy said it was anal nitrate or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie. That'd be fun to watch.
It's gonna be good. That's another one where I've put some scenes together, and it's so funny. You and Brandon are so funny in it, and it's almost a straight comedy. There's really, I mean, there's the sci-fi horror element to it. But when I was making that, I was like, oh, why don't we just make a comedy? Like, we're kind of good at this.
I feel like there's like Gay for Praise coming out, and I kind of play like I guess I'm a foil to Brandon's crazier than me and Benny and Steve, but I'm still weird.
Yeah.
But I play a foil in Gay and Pray too, where I'm just irritated and annoyed the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, but it's weird that there's so many similar. When I was reading the Gay for Prey script, I was like, this is a lot like Benny and Steve. But as I progressed, I was like, okay, this is completely different.
Yeah.
But at first, I was like, oh no, I can't do this. It's the same opening.
Wait till you see, and I told them, I pointed this out to them. Wait till you see Powerbomb, and you realize how much it's like Hornet Sting.
Really?
It's weirdly like Hornet Sting.
The first Hornet Sting.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Like there's a lot of weird similarities. It's very strange.
Did they actually were they like, oh, we didn't do it on purpose? But I don't think
they did it on purpose. No,
I don't even know if they saw Hornets.
But I pointed. No, they have. But I pointed out to him, and I was just like, you realize this is just like. But I mean,
it's a common kind of storyline, but it's done. Hornet Sting's done in such a different way.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, I like that kind of storyline.
Yeah,
Simple
me too.
thing.
Yeah.
Because you get like a psychological aspect to it.
Yeah. Well, that's actually the stuff that's similar. Is there's just like similar themes going on, and then they kind of play out in a similar. It's like the male wrestling version, like the male non-pornographic wrestling version of Hornet Sting. So
wrestling's pornographic to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm just kidding. But got that porno positions. But what was I thinking? I lost my train of thought there. Oh, if you could compare yourself, no disrespect to you, but like what B-level director do you think you are? Like out of the big dogs?
Oh, like I mean, you mean like what?
Like
letter?
if you're like the Kmart brand of like a big like star director, like you're like I'm the B-rate Martin Scorsese or something like that.
I actually thought about this the other day. I think it's like a mashup. I'm like the 7-Eleven version of like Cronenberg and Lynch or something. Like that's like I don't know because I feel like I pull my influences from so many different places. But like if I look at like the stuff that, like if I look at like Apple Cart and Skinless, like the stuff that's really like close to my heart, like I feel like it kind of is like those guys.
Yeah. Skinless is definitely like a.
But again,
style.
literally like the 7-Eleven generic version. Like I am nowhere near the level of those guys.
I was thinking maybe a Del Toro for your monster stuff.
I would like to believe that,
or a Clive Barker for your mythology.
That I was talking to my my boss at my day job about that because he's a big Clive Barker fan, and he always asks me about the movies. So he actually he's like half hour a day. We're gonna sit and you're gonna talk to me about your movie. So I'm like, okay. So we do that a lot, and I realize like how much influence I take from Clive Barker.
Oh, well, even if you think Skinless.
Yeah.
The design of him looks like Frank.
Yeah.
You know? I was just thought of that just now.
Well, and Skinless is so much like Cronenberg's The Fly and a Universal monster movie. I don't know. It's like a melting pot of just everything I like.
Though. It's like The Invisible Man meets The Fly.
Yeah.
And then it has that weird relationship aspect like Hellraiser. I guess it does too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a lot of things. They're all like that. Like that. Like I mean, if you look at Invalid, you can tell that there's definitely Italian influence, but it's not like one director. It's like just everything I like. Like
it's
I
like
this lighting.
psychological giallo.
Yeah.
Which Argento was really good at digging deep into the psychology of killers and why they did it.
Yeah.
You know, and which got to be inspired by Psycho, right?
I would, yeah,
a lot of that stuff like that.
Yeah.
The psychology of the killer and whatnot.
Yeah, oddly enough, Psycho is probably like were there giallos before Psycho? Or do you think it inspired the genre?
Well, it's always so funny to me about giallos in general because people are like, it's a giallo, it's a giallo. It's like, just because it has giallo aspects doesn't make it a giallo.
Yeah.
Like, no, it doesn't. It's so silly to me. It's like every movie, like when giallo was building up to become like the big genre it was, there was giallo aspects throughout everything and everything, you know, even any kind of movie. And then when it actually took place, just because there's giallo aspects still in it doesn't necessarily make it a giallo. Same thing with slasher.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't really think Invalid is a true giallo because there isn't like... There's the aspect of somebody uncovering what's going on. There's no mystery. Well, there is a mystery, but not in like the criminal sort of way like there are in most giallos. So I don't think it really counts, but it's definitely Italian inspired.
It's definitely Italian inspired. People would say it's like Patrick, and it's like Patrick.
It's like, which is Australian, I think.
Yeah, definitely Australian.
It's like, it's like Patrick meets Suspiria meets like, I'm trying to think. Maybe sleazier aspects of stuff like Torso and... what's the one that inspired Friday the 13th? That Bava
Bay of Blood.
Bay of Blood. Like, there's little pieces of all those in there. So
Bay of Blood has this weird crime aspect to it, though.
Yeah.
Where it's like at the very ending is almost so absurd that you're like laugh out loud.
Bay of Blood is so weird. I love it, but it's so weird. And the end is so weird.
I love that, though.
And there's the guy who gets his head cut off, and it looks like his head is made out of ceramic.
Or like Play-Doh. They always look like ceramic or Play-Doh or some shit like that. So I think we covered the big ones. Hornet's Disciple is more like a self-aware movie, like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, I guess it's like, and I didn't really realize this until we were shooting it, but I guess it's a little bit like Human Centipede 2, right? Like it's kind of a similar thing where the bad guy in this one is like is inspired and is a huge fan of the first movie.
Did you like Human Centipede 2?
No.
No?
I
love Human Centipede 2.
I
don't like the first one.
I don't really like either of them, to be honest. 2, I guess, is more entertaining because it's so stupidly gross. Like, it's just disgusting. But I just, like, there's that... I don't have that mean streak that I would have to think that stuff was funny. So I'm just like, I don't, like, hate it. It doesn't make me mad, but I'm just like...
Jet black sick humor.
It's like, okay, yeah, oh, she squirted out the baby. Oh, now she's gonna step on its head. Sure, why not? Let's
that part was just like... That's like...
Every part of that movie was just like...
When people typically get offended, either I laugh because I know, I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing that, or I just do.
Here's what I did appreciate about Human Centipede 2 is the movie itself had an appreciation of how disgusting the premise actually was.
Yeah.
Because there's the part where, he doesn't have them stapled together very well.
Because he's a dummy.
They're, like, shitting, and it's, like, shooting out sideways. Like, just that stuff. I was like, yeah, I can appreciate that they went there with that. But...
And the only thing in color is the poopy.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. But that kind of, what was I thinking about? I would say the whole genre of those movies can be summed up with one look from Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
There's a scene where they show the executives want to show like the big hot honcho the footage that no one else has seen.
Yeah.
And when the real gnarly stuff starts happening, like the impalement and the rape, the male and the female, the head honchos in front of them, they both uncomfortably look at each other in their chairs like this, like, because they know they're fucking in deep shit.
Yeah.
And that is exactly those Serbian film, Human Centipede 2, is just this. You like...
What are we watching?
Or like, oh no. Like, we...
What have we done?
We fucked up genre.
Burn the Blu-ray player. Yeah.
Burn it. All of it. That's what he says about the footage.
Yeah.
Burn it all. That just reminds me.
Yeah, I don't know. That stuff, generally doesn't... But I do like gross stuff, but... I don't know, like, it takes a specific kind to, like, work for me.
What's the director, Marian Dora, who did, like, Voyage to Gathis and
Melancholy Triangle.
You saw his stuff, and his stuff is very gross, but there seems like to be a point, and it's artistic.
Yeah, that's the thing. I watched Melancholy Triangle, which I'm probably saying wrong, and to say I liked it feels wrong, but I had, like, a weird appreciation for it, where it's just, like... I don't like because they hurt animals in it, and I don't like it.
That's not from the 70s and 80s. I know it's not good then, but big mainstream movies used to do it too.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Just like, it's not right.
I don't like it when anybody does it because it just feels weird. It feels icky.
But that's way too late to be even thinking of doing that.
But there's just like, when I'm watching this movie where one person is over here like staring at a snail and another woman's over here masturbating, pissing, and shitting into a fire, and then this guy over here is just jerking off. You like, objectively, it's all disgusting.
Yeah.
But the way it's shot, the way the music is, the way the performers feel like they really believe in what they're doing, makes it work.
There's like a group of filmmakers that aren't horror directors but get lumped in with them.
Mhm.
He's one of them.
Yeah.
Jörg Buckeret's one of them. Kareem Hussein's one of them. These guys make this like visually horrific shit that's artistic, and they're art films. They're art horror, and everybody's like, oh, they get like lumped in with the extremity horror movies, the extreme horror movies, and they're not. But I like those better because there seems to be a point. Like, I love extreme movies when there's a point. Like, I'm not bothered. Like, I like Serbian film. I think it's a well-made movie, and it's more of a crime drama than anything. It just has these horrific elements, but I can get past that because I like the movie. And the horrific elements are just batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Or like August Underground, the first one, or like the third one. I like those movies, but sometimes when it's just shock for the sake of shock, it's just pointless at this point. Because, like, I heard an interview with Jörg Buckeret, and he's basically like, it's all been done before.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do something new with the shocking stuff, then why just shock me? Why just, that's all you're going to do? Then it's already been done.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, I feel the same way just about gore in general, where if the gore is not going to be done in an interesting way, you have to be aware as a filmmaker of the fact that I've seen a person's throat get slit 1,000,000 times in a movie.
Yeah.
So either don't do it or find a way to do it that is different. You know what I mean? Or shoot it a different way, do the effect a different way, do something.
Or do it the best that's ever been done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think. We just watched The Majorettes. There's so many throat slitting in there.
Yeah.
Like, the first one's like, that's good. And then they just keep doing it. I'm like,
yeah, like
that's
3
repetitive.
throats in, you're just like, I get it. That's his, yeah, right.
It's pretty good, but I already seen that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some just like, you know who always would do such a good job with his special effects? Giannotti De Rossi.
Who's
the
that?
guy who did like all the effects for the Italian movies? Probably said his name wrong, but he did like Zombie.
Oh,
and
okay.
Beyond and stuff. He's so
like he did those like clay pot looking
zombies. But like
and,
the zombies in Zombie are horrifically gross.
The effects in Zombie are great.
But see, I love gore effects. I love gore effects, period. But when it comes to monster gore effects, like in The Void, those things are nasty and gory and gross. I love that shit.
Me too.
All day.
That one in The Void that's like he has the hole in his head and he's like slamming his head through the pipe. That literally like bugged me for like a day. Like I was just like, that is so fucked up.
The Void is like 2 missteps, and if those missteps were gone, it would be like the best movie I saw in 10 years.
It's too derivative for its own good, but I still liked it. I really really liked it a lot because it kind of fed a fascination for like that kind of horror for me. Like that I don't get to see very often. Like not that they did a bunch of stuff that's never been done, but there's also just not a lot of that kind of horror.
Not anymore. It's expensive and it doesn't pay.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see it, but nobody wants to pay for it. And every time it gets paid for, it never makes its money back. I don't think. That's what I feel like. Like monster movies, they feel like they're dying, which is sad because I'm going to get negative here for a second, but a lot of the sci-fi monster movies that used to come out when I was a kid, Sci-Fi Channel, I turned it on, I watched some Full Moon stuff, I'd watch, that stuff, and it was blast. It was great. Love the Sci-Fi Channel. Now, like, the whole idea of celebrating failure on purpose is just a waste of my damn time, and I don't like it. Irony
is ruining genre film. Like, the total lack of sincerity.
And snark.
Yeah. I mean, irony and snark go hand in hand. And it's just like, that's I understand that people love the Sharknado movies, and if you love Sharknado, that's fine. Like, I'm glad you have something you love, but I watch those and I'm just like, I can tell they are doing this on purpose, and that makes me not like it.
Me too. I'm not interested. But somebody was posting about it, and they mentioned it, and I agreed 100% with them. They said, what makes movie oddball weirdo failures so endearing is because they were endearing, and they did it with sincerity. A lot of times this happens when a foreign director comes to America and doesn't understand everything he's doing and makes a movie. You get weird shit like Halloween Night, which is just so bizarre and different, but serious. Even though it's stupid, it's serious. Even something like Black Roses. It's just, I know that wasn't the same situation, but like it's endearing and I love it. Like not in an ironic way. That's like same thing with like Neon Maniacs. Yeah, it's a failure.
Yeah.
But it has so much cool shit. I love it.
That's the thing. Like I don't want the filmmakers to know they're making something bad.
Yes.
I don't want them to try to make something bad. Like, bad on purpose does not work. Like, I'm trying to think of a single movie that's bad on purpose that I actually think works.
I can't even watch stuff like The Room, where people are, like, celebrating this guy's failure. Like,
I mean, I think The Room and Troll 2 and stuff, like, I do think they're funny. And I think they're funny because it is, like, since, like, they were sincerely trying to make... But I also don't think they deserve to be held up the
yeah.
way people.
I
voice
like
them
Troll
up.
2 just because the special effects are fun and it's Italian and it has some cool stuff in it. It's stupid, it's retarded, it's not a good movie, I know that. But like if you were to take something like Killer Crocodile, which probably a lot of people would be like, this is so bad. I'm like, dude, this movie's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a giant crocodile. It's scary as shit. It's
super
eating
bloody.
people.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't see anything wrong with it. Like, or even something like Devilfish. I remember watching Devilfish and like, this is cool. I like it.
That's the one that's Sharktopus before.
Yeah,
Sharktopus, right?
So it's like, I don't know. There's like a fine line between that stuff. Like, I like that stuff. I don't look at it ironically, and I hate snark, and I hate like looking at it like it's so good. Like they just, I can't stand that stuff.
I just don't like. I don't like when the people making the movie feel like they're better than the material.
Yeah,
You
don't
know what
make
I
it
mean?
then.
Yeah, exactly.
And slasher movies, the throwbacks have been so bad about that lately. But a couple of them, like I said, Pool Party Massacre.
Yeah,
they
that
knew
was
that
good.
it was fun. They knew it was like the genre, but they didn't hate it, and they made jokes in it. But the jokes were done by characters in the movie, not the actual movie.
Yeah.
And something like Dude Bro Party Massacre, who's the Patton Oswalt's in it? He's hilarious in it. But it's a movie that's just making fun of the genre, and I don't see any genuine love there, which is really sad because it has a big budget and there's a lot of cool, fun stuff going in there. It's just I just
and that's
don't
the
like
thing too, right? You can pick on the genre and still make a good movie. Like Edgar Wright's really good at that.
But he loves the genre.
Yeah, he loves them, but he knows. But it's like you picking on your best friend.
Yeah.
As opposed to you picking on somebody you don't like.
Final Girls.
Yeah,
is
I need
really
to
good
see
about that.
I've heard it's good.
And it's PG-13.
Really? It still works?
Yeah,
That's cool.
It works. But some people think at an R it would have worked better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was heartwarming. It was touching.
Yeah, I have been meaning to see that one.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to I don't know. Is it hard to walk that line? I just don't make stuff that you're gonna hate.
Yeah.
Don't hate.
I think you just have to believe in what you're doing.
And your low budget fucking $2,000 movie is gonna be crappy enough without you trying to make it crappy and funny. It's already crappy.
Yeah.
It's not to be a dick, but
You have to-
I'm saying
here's what
Slimy
it
Little
is.
Bastards already sucked. Just on the basics of I don't know what I'm doing, not the actors and not the people involved making
But it doesn't
It
suck.
sucks because of me. But I went out and wanted to make the best I could.
Yeah,
And
well, that's why the movie doesn't suck though. Like Slimy Little Bastards, is so endearing to watch because everyone in the movie is in it 100%. Like there's fucking fart jokes and shit in it like that, but it wasn't like weren't little monster movies stupid? Let's make fun of them. It was like, no, we all love little monster movies, so let's make one.
we love that stupid shit. It's great. It's fun. I grew up in it. I have a soft spot for it. So it's like that's what I'm saying. Don't go out and try to make a bad movie, but you don't have to listen to me. But that's just I feel that way. I'm not gonna like what
that's
you
the
do.
other thing too is like lean into the crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just accept what's going to be crappy about your production, and then try to make anything you can better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there's some things you can't help.
Like I'm sorry that our location's not great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that that's a watermelon at the end. We
I'm
literally-
not. That's my favorite part of the movie.
It hit that point where it was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. We had it and we tried it. We're like, this is not.
But
gonna
it
work,
does
we
work.
had-
It works
but
in
then-
a completely different level though.
That's-
It's like that's actually my favorite part is when Matt goes to kick that monster and it turns into a purple smiling watermelon. Makes
Frowning.
me so or frowning, yeah. Makes me so happy. Like it literally just like my heart swells at that part because it wasn't done to be like, isn't this stupid, guys? It was just like, well, we need it to smash. So.
Fuck. We don't have time to make this. We don't have it.
But it's so genius. It's so I don't know.
I was
love that
like,
part
Jeremy,
so
I was like, go get a melon and we'll make it look really good as much as we can. A round melon, maybe like a really big cantaloupe or something, and come back with it. He came back with this fucking watermelon like this. I was like, this ain't gonna work. But I was so stressed trying to finish it at the end. I was just, I don't give a fuck. Just paint it.
But it totally works though. I love that part. You don't even understand how happy it makes me when that happens. Like it's just like.
Are we gonna make Halloween spookies too?
Yeah. We got to.
It's hitting the deadline where the point is. It's gonna be tough.
I'm quick.
I'm not.
I know, so get working.
I don't even know who I want to cast in it.
I can shoot mine in 2 weekends and have them edited and ready to go. Like if
I'm not editing mine.
Now I'm shooting and editing yours?
No, I'll edit it, but you might have to come in and give me some pointers.
Okay.
I mean, I edit, but it takes me a very long time.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not good at it.
No, you get better as you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But it takes me a long time.
That's fine. Yeah, I plan on doing it. We have to. We can't. been wanting to do it as a yearly thing. We can't.
It's back on its second
now.
year.
It's middle of July. We have time.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be full length. It can be. How long's the first one? 50 minutes or an hour or something like that.
An hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah. So it doesn't have just whatever we can get up there because, in my head, it's just a Halloween special.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like this big like full production movie that we have to get out there. It's just like, this is the Halloween special from people who wish there were still Halloween specials.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that movie, like, I know a lot of people got it, a lot of people enjoyed it, kids enjoyed it, but, like, the stuff that, I don't want to talk about people that don't like it, but, like, if somebody gave me legitimate pointers, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
I need help. Help me. But just to be a snark, some people just, like, didn't get it, but they still wanted to talk shit about it.
I didn't see any good, like, there were
no good, bad reviews.
Right, yeah, there's no well-written bad reviews. They were just like, I didn't like it. And I'm like, okay, it probably wasn't for you.
Meh. If you don't care, you care enough to write meh, you kind of care.
Well, that was the thing, like,
fly
down here. There's, the people who are like, it didn't capture the Halloween spirit at all. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
What do you want?
Like, the movie is nothing but Halloween. There's fucking pumpkins everywhere. It's all about trick-or-treating and candy. Like,
cram as many fucking pumpkins as I could in my short.
Yeah, like, it's got Halloween coming out of its ears.
If I turn a Halloween movie on and I don't see a pumpkin,
yeah,
1 star.
Done.
Out. I'm just kidding. I'm like, meh. I mean, hell, Halloween opens with a damn pumpkin. Was that 2 with the pumpkin shot? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. No, we got to do it. We have to.
We're gonna do it.
I already told Cash we were going to do it, so we can't let Cash down.
Stop Cash.
No!
Just kidding. They're still making Power Bomb.
Yeah.
Are they done?
No, they're done. They wrapped.
Good.
The day I was there was the last day.
Because then we can use some of them.
They're done with that, and Cash was just in this short called Skinling that a local guy's doing that I went and did effects for last night. So
they do well?
Yeah, I mean, Cash is always good.
Cash is good.
Yeah. I did like a... Well, maybe I shouldn't say. I guess it's a spoiler.
Nah, spoiler.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the movie.
Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up? Patreon, any new upcoming movies?
Really, just like right now, like people, if they like what I do, should go to the Patreon. That's the best way to support me right now. To get my stuff on DVD and Blu-ray, really the only place to get it right now is Grindhouse Video in Tampa, Florida. They have a great web store.
Great store too. I wish I could go in there.
It's a great store. Mike Sandlin, who runs it, is an awesome guy, and he's right now my sole retailer of all my physical stuff because I'm personally moving all to like streaming.
But there is a point on the Patreon, like what is it? How much a month to get?
If you do, I think it's $50. You get like physical copies of every movie that I make while you're
on
at
DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah, whichever you want. If you get in for $5, you get I give you a list of links where you can watch everything that's available streaming right away. Right now, we just passed our $300 goal, which means that we're going to start doing the Her Name Was Torment podcast, which is going to be an audio drama that like explores the mythology and psychology of those movies. And we have a Patreon exclusive short. All the Patreon contributors will see it before anybody else that I'm filming next weekend. That should be really cool. So it went it's gone up so fast that I was not anticipating the amount of work I have to do. But like I said, I'm literally taking time off of work so that I can make sure that the Patreon stuff gets done because it's really important to me. But if you go to patreon.com/DWMills, that's where it all is. And just like literally $2. Like some people are like, aren't contributing because they like feel like it's insulting to only
to leave like $1 tip on a $30 bill.
And I'm like, no, please, it's better than better than nothing. And those $2 like add up and add up and add up.
I did 5 because I was like, 5's good. I do 5 for the Patreons usually. There's a lot more I want to do, but I do it for Last Podcast, Pure Cinema, stuff like that. You know, $5 times 100.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a big deal. So that right now that's where I'm dedicating most of my time. Keep your eye out for. I'm still not sure how it's going to be released, but it's coming soon, is Hornet's Disciple and the Scars She Left, which is crazy sleazy and has great performances in it from Jayanya Lupa and Ronnie Jonah, who's also in Powerbomb.
Yeah, Ronnie Jonah's awesome.
She's really, really good. And she's super, super brave in this movie. I think she did stuff in this movie she's never done on film before, so she's amazing. They're both amazing.
You got Neon Doom after that.
And then Neon Doom, yeah.
Which is the science fiction,
like PG-13 level
video game style movie.
Yeah, 90s inspired video game thing. It's all kinds of shit. Like,
did we shoot that in 2014 or 15?
I don't know. I don't remember. It feels like a long time ago.
And then you got Benny and Steve.
Yep.
Her Name Was Torment 3.
Yeah, which Her Name is Stormlight 3 is definitely next year.
And Rip.
Yeah.
Is Rip this year?
I don't know. We'll see.
I want to see Rip.
I know. I'm working on it. Rip isn't a hard edit because the new sound equipment we use. So all the sound is synced up already.
You still need to get me in there for a couple ADR lines?
Yes. Right. I need to get you for ADR. I need to get Wes for ADR. And there's a couple effects I have to finish, but otherwise it's done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Still got to get that scene with Brandon for Benny and Steve.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
You better get that.
Yeah, probably. Before the movie comes out, maybe.
just
find a way to cut it.
Literally just edit it into a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like you always do.
Yeah.
You're like, this is the animated sequence.
That's not a bad idea. I turned both your flashbacks into cartoons.
Yeah.
I may just do that.
What was my flashback?
Where you're in the suicide helpline center and you...
Oh, you got my voice? Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do that. That would be fun.
I might do that.
That'd be cute.
That would be funny. Just like a little Edgar Wright, whip pan to a cartoon of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're good here.
Okay.
Unless you got anything else to say.
That's it. Go to my Patreon. Give me money.
Give me... Henry Zabrowski, last podcast on the left, puts me in tears when he's like, give me your fucking money. At the end of the podcast, he's like, thank you for your money. Like, I think it's... I don't know why. That, to me, is better than somebody be like, we really appreciate the money. He's like, give me your money. Like, I don't know why. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah, also, this doesn't relate to me at all, but go listen to the last podcast.
We love it.
Because it's the best.
They're the best.
It's the best podcast
I listen to all their stuff now on there.
Me too. I listen, well, not everything, but I listen to Roundtable of Gentlemen, and I really like it.
What is Sex and Other Human Activities, Page 7.
Yeah.
I love all of it. Abe Lincoln's Top Hat. It's funny that Ben is probably the least educated when it comes to the last podcast, but when it comes to Abe Lincoln's Top Hat,
he's the most
he knows his shit.
Yeah.
You know, but I love all those guys. They're great.
Fuck!
We're advertising like a podcast that gets like $100,000 a month.
Yeah. They're like they have so much more money than us and don't need our help, but whatever.
Screw it. We're out of here.
Yeah. All right.
What's the matter, Dylan? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils?
Oh, you beat me to it. I was gonna say.